And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win Speed Round number. I will insert it after I see, which I think we're on like 38 or 39. Anyway, so why don't we just get into this bad boy? It's starting off the big green versus the little green, who's still big on the inside and maybe a little on the outside. We got Scourge from Archie Sonic versus Godzilla, the Monsterverse edition of him, which comes to us from both Joseph Proctor and Sandra Liddy. And there's a reason this is a speed round. If you're going Archie, yeah, Monsterverse Godzilla doesn't even stand a chance. Not if you're going Archie, any character really. Even Archie Knuckles and because they can scale to some degree to Sonic, who can defy fate, is impossibly fast. Scourge is actually a rough equal to Sonic. So right out the gate, Scourge wins that fight. So then coming to us from Comic Book Media Fan, we have the question of who wins in a fight. Blue Marvel versus the Plutonian. And this is another case of one guy just completely curb stomps the other and scaling on. Blue Marvel has one-shot the Hulk. Blue Marvel has actually interacted with the one above all, the de facto god of the Marvel Universe. While Plutonian is certainly powerful within his comic universe, he is not a Blue Marvel level of power. It's subjective or personal manipulation of your own reality is one thing, but we're talking about a guy who can easily scare the Sentry or put the Sentry on notice for a little bit. And a Sentry can still whoop Blue Marvel in the grand scheme. That's how powerful Sentry is. But he's still someone who can give the Sentry a serious fight. And the Sentry is... All right, then. So coming to us then from Michelle Gant? Michelle, what was it? Michelle Gano? Michelle G. We have who wins in a fight, Naruto or Cell. Look, no one in the Naruto world even really creeps into solar system tier. The only exception would be Kaguya allegedly with that alleged dimension destroying feat, but that was her own dimension, so it's debatable how powerful that feat really is, and how big that, because it also depends on how big that dimension is. Otherwise, no Naruto character is really scaled beyond planetary, and Cell is calc'd as a solar system buster, because he can destroy the star of the solar system and each planet on its own. I mean, let's put it this way. Frieza himself, at a power level of barely 500,000, just over 500,000, can destroy a planet with just his finger. Cell is millions upon thousands upon millions of times stronger than that Frieza. So there's no doubt in my mind. He casually does light speed, master martial arts, all the Z Fighters techniques, can tank God knows how much firepower thrown at him. Nothing Naruto has even comes close. Even Baryon mode wouldn't do a damn thing. We don't know what Cell's lifespan's like. He's a biomechanical android. So, yeah, no. Then, coming to us from, let's see here now, the Universal Union, Michael Myers versus Clockwork. One of those cases where I'm not a big creepypasta person, so I had to look it up, and basically what I found, this is just another creepy serial killer without any actual powers. The problem anytime you bring creepypasta characters in there is that very few of them, say a Slender Man, a Zalgo, I think Ben Drowned is another one, very few of them actually have, why do I got this Windows? I think my computer just kind of booting back up a bit. I had to restart my computer. Very few of them actually have any sort of mystical supernatural capabilities. And so they're really not all that cut out for versus battles. Mike has always been tanky, powerful, can take a lot of damage. The man literally got blasted multiple times at the ripe age of 70-something by a shotgun, got sliced, beaten, and he still got back up and still killed a group of people. How he did that, we have no goddamn idea. Because the newest Halloween trilogy is only a sequel to the first movie. There's allegedly nothing's truly supernatural about Michael. There's some mild implications, but beyond that, there's just no evidence. It's not Cult of Thorn Michael or anything like that. Because if it's Cult of Thorn Michael, then yeah, Clockwork's definitely screwed. All right, then. So coming to us then from SS Saga or Saiyan Saga Goku, who asked the question, who wins in a fight? Now, Saiyan Saga Goku versus Chunin James Kakashi. It's Goku. by a mile. You already got casual light speed feats at that early in Super. He's a Planet Buster by the time, honestly, Roshi was a Moon Buster long before Goku was a Planet Buster. Goku surpassed Roshi long ago. Like Goku would literally just blitz Kakatsuki. Wow. Kakashi of the Kakatsuki. Kakashi, he just blitz him no problem. Or just blow him up or whatever. So yeah, I'd probably lean towards Kakashi on that. And sorry, again, my computer is being slow with these boot ups at the moment. Normally these move fast, but I had a little bit of a snafu earlier. I think I just had too many things running at the same time, and it didn't cause the computer to necessarily crash. But what happened was my OBS kind of failed to function correctly, and every time I tried to get out of there, it would just go to this black screen, like, get me out of here, get me out of here. And then finally I restarted the computer, and everything seems to be generally working fine now, so that's good. Okay then, coming to us from, let's see here, Tapatio Man. Rick Sanchez versus Stewie Griffin. This is literally tech versus tech. Look, Stewie has developed multiverse travel. He has like high level proficiency with like, advanced technology, but Rick can do all that and actually do it confidently. They could not figure out which universe they were going to because he had the damn shuffle button on, for God's sake. Whereas Rick knows every time he goes somewhere where he's going. He literally can do time travel. He just doesn't like doing time travel. He thinks it's stupid. This is a man who can destroy timelines. This is a man who literally built a citadel of himself. Like, the smartest Ricks in the world. Like, yeah, Rick would beat the crap out of Stewie. And Rick probably wouldn't have much qualms of beating on Stewie, despite the fact he's a baby. Let's be honest. As soon as he showed that he's a danger of any kind, Rick would put him in his place, kill him or otherwise. Anyway, so coming to us from, let's see here, Antonio Spadaldo. And this is Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit versus Cartoon Cat. We have no idea what type of tune Doom is. They never specify. They never actually reveal what he is. We know he got, the dip killed him. We know the one thing we do know he could do was morph his hands and and just cause random like contraptions to kind of show up on his body. That was the one thing we knew he could do, including buzzsaws, boxing gloves, springs on his hands, anvils. He was psychotic, but the Cartoon Cat is just kind of a whole other level of psychopath and a whole other level of dangerous tune. Like Doom, in theory, you could have actually reasoned with. But as long as it met his end goals. The Cartoon Cat, not so much. Cartoon Cat doesn't care. He's just going to kill you. So then coming to us from, let's see here. I'm sorry. That was Bossa Nova Lobrecht. I'm sorry. Antonio Spadaldo gave us Doom versus Goku. Now this is full power Goku versus Doom. Now okay, look. I get that I don't know the lore on every fandom. I can't. I'm not a machine. I'm not infallible. There are particular lores that I do tend to get wrong sometimes. I do. But there are also lores I feel like people, and I've seen other people comment on this too. Not necessarily Doom lore, but I feel like there's lores like Doom that people really tend to wank a little bit. Like, oh, he's conquered all of hell. Oh my God, he undid this. And that. Like, hey, okay, that's great, but that doesn't mean Ghost Rider versus Doom is a perfect example of this. I'm sorry, Doom would lose to Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is a whole different level than his hell. Like the hell of Marvel is just a different beast to the hell of Doom universe. What's the best way to put this? Yes, Doom laid waste to hell. But Doom did, as far as I know, Doom guy, and I could be wrong on this, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't utterly destroy the dimension itself. He didn't destroy the realm of hell. He just laid a waste to it and no demon could stop him. Goku literally threatened the reality with a punch. And he has a hell in his own universe too. And that was threatened by that punch. Another fandom that I have an issue with sometimes, and Mark is a part of this fandom, and man, when he said this, I'm like, wait, what? the Warhammer universe, the 40K universe. Man, do those guys, look, I appreciate the passion. We all love our fandoms. We do. And you're entitled to love your fandom. I'm not judging them for loving the fandom. But I literally, like, Mark and I think it was offhanded, like, Mark, like, I think somehow it got to a conversation about Warhammer. By the way, obviously, I think Goku wins this, by the way, without really any difficulty. But something along something about Dragon Ball and Warhammer 40K. It was something about that. And he commented how the Tyranids are essentially a giant swarm of Beeruses. It's like, you know, the universe is like outside, there's nothing left because the Tyranids ate it all. I'm like, oh, okay, well, hold on, let me look this up. And yeah, that's true, they ate it all, but it's not like they go, it's all gone instantly. No, they're like a reptilian locust swarm xenomorph scenario. I thought to them, like, Mark, do you actually know what Beerus does? Like, or are you just, like, really, really invested in your fandom and just really holding it on a high pedestal? I'm not saying that Beerus would dominate the entire Warhammer 40K scenario. I'm just saying, you hear someone say that the Tyranids are a group of Beeruses, and if you know anything about Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, you're like, that's not right. Do you just assume that Beerus just eats? Is that what he does? Like, anyway. So, moving on. Let's see here. Where are we? Let's see. Phantom of Shadows asks who wins in a fight. Wolverine versus Sub-Zero. This would just be essentially him fighting a better fighting version of Bobby. Mind you, Bobby is more powerful than Sub-Zero. But this would just be him fighting a martial arts version of Bobby. And Wolverine generally, unless he were to get, like, sneak in and, like, claw him, Wolverine generally can't beat Bobby because Bobby would fight from long range. But if Wolverine obviously were able to, sneak in, get in close, sure, he could kill Bobby. And that's true for Sub-Zero, but Sub-Zero would probably just freeze him in place or whatever. Then coming to us from Trey Robinson, we have the question of who wins in a fight. Broly versus Cumber. You might think this is a more closer fight than you might realize, but the problem here is simply Cumber comes from Heroes, and Hero scaling gets kind of nuts. Broly, as powerful as Broly is, Broly's raw power is more, and his threat comes more from his raw potential than anything else. Like, he has probably more potential and raw natural talent than anyone else. Whereas Cumber, even without doing Super Saiyan, could easily go toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan Blue characters. Whereas Broly needed to at least turn Super Saiyan to do it. So I'd go Cumber in that fight. Then, coming to us from... who gave me this one? Let's see here. God of Death, what if? Well, that's the question. Who wins in a fight? The Creeper, Doomsday, or the Hulk? Why is the Creeper here? The Creeper would get clapped by these guys. Like, oh no, the Creeper can't die. You can't kill bullshit. You can't kill the Creeper. You can't kill the Reaper, but you can't kill the Creeper. Just humanity isn't smart enough to figure out how to do it. That's pretty much how it comes down to it. Like, he's still been massively injured, blown up for God's sake, and struggled to put himself back together. There's no way he'd go up and be able to win against Hulk or Doomsday. So that being said, who wins, Doomsday or the Hulk? Especially with now all the more modern feats like the Green Door, Hulk, in essence, not being able to die. You'd have to disconnect him from the connection to the one below, the below place. Or again, someone said a reality erasure wouldn't work. I'm like, yeah, it would. That's not the same thing as killing. Even if you incinerate the Hulk, like what you saw in the fight with Godzilla, even if you destroyed him down to atoms, that he can still come back from that. That's different than existence erasure. That is literally erasing you off the table, period, from existence. So no, existence erasure still works in the Hulk. I'm just not sure if there's someone who has that ability strong enough to take him on at this point. But then you got the newer Doomsday who surviving sent to the end of time. And now has time warp time manipulation shenanigans. Like, it's insane. And he still has all the Doomsday adaptation capabilities. So really, this would be a never-ending death loop between the two of them, because Doomsday, frankly, had evolved to the point where Hulk wouldn't be able to put him down. even with the level of power the Hulk has, he would not be able to put him down. He'd have to figure out a new way to kill him, and even then, that would be a temporary fix. So, because Banner's in there, maybe they could figure it out. So I'll lean towards the Hulk, but that's not even taking the time shenanigans into the equation. So I guess if we're talking about who wins, not necessarily kills, but who wins in the fight, if we're factoring the time shenanigans in and maybe trying to like keep the Hulk down or something like, I guess I'd lean actually more towards Doomsday, because he could probably take the Hulk out of the scenario at that point. But that's like a pick your poison at that point scenario. Then we got from, who was this? I apologize. I wrote your name terribly, so I'm doing your what if though. Lucy from Elfin Lied versus Moro, the ghost, the Windmaster from Ninjago. Look, he's a ghost apparently, so Lucy can't deal with ghosts. Moro would win that fight. If he were alive, I'd actually lean towards Lucy, because then she'd actually have a target hit, and there's no way, I don't know if he could sense or see the vectors. And I don't know if she can block wind. That one I don't know, but I have a feeling yes, she can block wind because the vectors are solid. They're telekinetic energy made like solid. Anyway, I digress. So then coming to us from Rodan, we have Alien X versus Zeno. This might have been a little closer had you not really thought about the scaling of this. Zeno definitely scales well above multi. He's at least multiversal, like multiversal plus minimum. He might even be omniversal, like the next step up, because he can literally wipe out a multiverse in an instant, like on his own, no issues whatsoever. He can literally do that. However, Alien X can not only survive the death of a universe around him and not blink, he can also recreate the universe to near perfection. Celestial sapiens live outside of time and space, and a pure reality warping. I think Alien X would take that, personally. Although, I do... And, all right, let me rephrase that. Not only that, the Alien X, Zeno is strong enough that I think he could hurt Alien X, enough that Alien X actually would have to react. Like, oh no, they would, the first time I should agree, that's a threat, deal with it, and then Zeno would be dealt with. So yeah, I go Alien X. Coming to us from Galaxy Play, we got Monkey D. Luffy versus Beast Boy. Two goofy guys. One's not really a monkey, but one can turn into a monkey. Look, there's no animal that Beast Boy can really turn into to harm Luffy is the problem. Okay, something with sharp teeth, maybe? But it would have to be something with really sharp teeth. That being said, we know he can turn into something like a dragon, breathe fire. But Luffy now has Gear 5, which pretty much lets him kind of warp reality in his own way. Bend it, literally, to his will. So... yeah, I don't think Beast Boy's really making it. Plus, Luffy now has like light speed level feats, easy light speed level feat, armor hockey, conquerors hockey. He's a master hand-to-hand fighter, rubber body on the Norm without even 5th gear. So yeah, that's got to go to Luffy in my opinion. Then coming to us from Snailcorn. Thorin Oakenshield versus Jeff the Killer. Thorin's a trained warrior, actually wields comparable weapons, would not take this guy lightly. He wouldn't take him seriously, but he also wouldn't he'd think him be a nuisance, but he also think he's a monster because of his face, so he'd probably kill him as soon as he charged. So Thorin takes that fight. Then coming to us from, let's see here now, who we got left? We got 3 left here. Super Meadow? Super something. Guys asked the question, Wolverine versus Piccolo. Again, you're talking about a Planet Buster plus minimum. Like Piccolo at this point now is a universal level threat thanks to Orange Piccolo. Yeah, Wolverine is, and he's got regeneration. Even if Wolverine stabbed him in the chest, unless he had a heart and Piccolo was bleeding out, that's not doing anything. He cuts an arm off, he can actually grow it back. Mind you, Piccolo might not be able to straight up kill Wolverine, although because he survived Nitro, who nuked all his flesh off his adamantium body. So. He could knock his ass out. That's how the Sentry put him down, if I remember correctly. He knocked his ass out. All right, then. So then coming to us from Jason Jordan. Asked the question, who wins in a fight, Riot or Carnage? It doesn't matter if this is the movie version or the comic versions of these characters. Riot's getting his ass clapped. Carnage has always been depicted as the stronger one. Hell, Riot is stronger than Venom, technically. He's an offspring of Venom. And he's depicted as stronger and even in the movie than Venom is. It's like, he's got shit you haven't even seen. It's like, holy shit. It's like, told you. But no, like literally, like Venom was willing to go up against Riot. Like he didn't want to do it, but we're gonna try to save the world. The minute he saw Carnage, like he didn't freak when he saw Riot. He was just like, I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna. He freaked when he saw Carnage. Or when he saw Carnage. He freaked. It's like, oh no, shit, that is a red one. No, congratulations to the happy couple. So yeah. No, Carnage is often depicted as one of the strongest symbiotes. If I remember correctly, right now, I don't know who the strongest actual symbiote, take the Necrosword out of the equation, is. I mean, Hybrid is kind of an example. I think Toxin was up there for a while, but I don't know if Toxin's given birth to its child. I don't know, because that's kind of how it goes. You pass down the next thing with the host and all that, and it just grows the symbiote stronger. All right, then. And last but not least, from Zach Torres, who wins in a fight, Doomsday or Godzilla? Now, this is not a specific type of Godzilla, so we can get a little bit more crazy here. Now, any other Godzilla versus, say, for Ultima would probably get clapped by Doomsday. That's just a guarantee. The question simply now comes down to, is Doomsday, especially more modern Doomsday, would get ton of shenanigans, capable of dealing with Ultima and essentially its ability to just rewrite reality to fit what it needs? That's a really good question. Because the DC multiverse is far larger than the Godzilla multiverse. And therefore, technically speaking, he could probably, if Doomsday could just escape into a timeline and deal with Archetype in its own way. But I don't know. Because Doomsday at that point was also very intelligent. So he could probably figure out what was going on, but he doesn't have an answer to how to stop what's going on, is the problem. So this, again, kind of becomes a never-ending death loop. Mind you, Doomsday wouldn't die if the universe was terraformed. That's the thing. He would just evolve past it. So, and you know what? That would be the key. That would be the key. If he evolves to not just be immune, but develop a countermeasure for Archetype, he would beat Godzilla Ultima. Even the acausal stuff wouldn't matter because he's now tied into that energy source. So, you know what? I give it to Doomsday. Ultima is the biggest threat to get by, but if he can just adapt to Archetype itself, Doomsday would take the win there. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one. I got a Who Will Win Now tomorrow, so keep your eyes out for that.